What's going on, guys? Cliffy here. One of my English fans requested that I did an English 5-5 game. So today we have, I think it's a derby of sorts. Lancashire, again, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Lancashire versus Yorkshire. Now, Yorkshire are one of those teams that are absolutely stacked in the English County Championship, the County League, English County Cricket, for a lack of a better word. So today we are hoping to go and take them down with the mighty Lancashire. And we made a few adjustments to the team. Hamid, who's played recently in the English Test Series, he is in. He's opening up. Brought Butler back. Brought in Jimmy Anderson as well. So we do have plenty of quality, but this Yorkshire side, very, very good. So hopefully we will be able to go and play them out, pick up the win. Playing at Blackpool here today. Quite a nice stadium, actually. First time I've played at it in the game. But it does seem to be quite nice. Just a nice scenic view, I guess you would say. We've got the bus there in the back left background. We've got the houses and then the hills in the background. And I must say, like, compared to... Well, it's hard for me to say because I didn't really play too many county games or at many county grounds in DCB 14. But, you know, looking at this here, even the detail they've gone to, I mean, like the bus, the cars, the houses, even the trees don't look that bad. Like, these trees probably are similar to ones that you'd get in, like, a first-person shooter or something like that. So, very, very good. I think there's actually a delivery van over there. And then we can see... Excuse me. Just dying here quietly in the corner. But we can see the hordes of people who have turned out to see Cliffy manage this, I think they're called the Lancashire Lightning in the T20 Blast is what they call it in England. So they've turned out to see them. And hopefully we can put on a bit of a show for them. Hamid is doing the job at the moment. That is back-to-back boundaries for him. We've gone for 14 off these first 5 balls, boys. And Hamid, 9 off 3. That's exactly what we've wanted. That's exactly the start that we've needed, especially against David Willey, a very good bowler. Oh, Hamid, is he going to make it? 3 on the trot. You betcha, boys. 18 coming off that first over in Yorkshire. They are going to be chasing a big, big score if this continues to keep up. David Willey was absolutely terrible. Jack Brooks now into the attack, and again, we've got this similar field. We can go through the covers. We've played off the pads very well. David Willey was swinging basically everything into us, and it was just easy pickings off the pad. But that one there, we haven't timed as well. But Peterson, he's done his job. He's got Hamid on strike. 13 off 4 from the youngster, who I guess England are going to be in a bit of a spot of bother now when he does come back, because I think he scored 100 as well, possibly, for them. I can't remember which test that was in. But what a bit of timing. There's 2 players out on the fence, and he's gone, you know what? I'm going to dissect them. Play a front foot pull shot, and that one there has raced away. We've got a deep mid-wicket and a square leg. So basically anything on the pads can just be swept away or flicked away, hit away, and it is going to go... I was actually trying to sweep that one to the leg side, but the width just... Well, sorry, the width was there, so we had to go out for the reverse sweep. But basically, anything there, deep mid-wicket and a square leg, I guess you'd say, deep square leg. Anything can just be whipped away and will be whipped away, hopefully, if we do get the ball that we want. But very strange. There's actually 3 players outside the ring here, so I'm not too sure what's happened in regards to that. But it isn't really too much of a concern for us because we've got 25 off the first 10 balls. So at this rate, we are looking to score probably 75 in our 5 overs, which, you know, at the end of the day is quite outrageous. We will come back there. The shot choice, poor. Surprisingly, I did go off the back foot for that one, and it did give me good footwork, which hasn't happened previously. For those who have watched my Don Bradman 14 videos, they will know that that is a very, very productive shot for me. That guide, it wouldn't be a cut shot, but it's more of a guide or a poke down to third man, and that's where I scored a majority of my runs in this game. Timmy Bradman coming in. Another thing they did say is basically this Yorkshire side, he listed off all the players that have played nationally for the English side in recent years. Obviously, Tim Bresnan's there. Gary Balance plays. That's a good bit of fielding. I don't know who that was. But Joe Root's in there. I'm just trying to think who else off the top of my head. Gary Balance, Joe Root. Side bottom. No. Side bottom. Side bottom might be us, actually. I'm not sure. Oh, nice cut shot. But yeah, there are a lot of players. They're basically, I think, like half of the team have either played currently for England or are playing. I think Johnny Bairstow's another one who plays for them. Gary Ballance, as I said, Joe Root. So there are plenty of good players in this Yorkshire team. But both Hamid, well, majority Hamid and Peterson have done a job on their bowlers so far. David Willey's another one that just comes to mind, obviously. The opening bowler that we did take for quite a few. Hamid, 21 off 10. Peterson, 8 off 5. Oh! Peterson gets that one past the keeper. The outside edge. I don't know how. I believe it's Johnny Bairstow keeping. I don't know how he didn't get to that, but we will take it. Another 4 to the run board, boys, and we move on to 33 off just over 2.5 overs. So, doing the job here today. Peterson not timing it as well as Hamid, but he's still doing his job. He's doing his bit. Going at a decent strike rate as well. I mean, Hamid striking at 210. We have now seen a change in the field, so wide off has gone back. Deep fine leg is there as well. So that is basically our two main areas that we do like to go to. Peterson has snuck up as well, and he's striking. Oh God, I was going to say he is striking at. Oh, it's been put down. Striking at on 200, not over 200. And that ball there, that was really just asking to be hit away. Poor bit of fielding actually out of the deep there by Yorkshire to put that one down. Bresnan won't be happy about that. Liam Plunkett, another guy who has played for the England setup. So there are plenty of quality players in the side. I think Kane Williamson possibly played for them as well as an overseas player. I think maybe 2 years ago. Definitely wasn't last year. I think 2 years ago he played as an overseas player. I'm not sure. I think just for like the one day comp. Ooh, cheeky single. No way that's out LBW. I've moved so far outside the line of off stump. And that's what the umpire said. He's called leg buys, but moved so far outside off stump. You've got to be kidding me. Who is this captain that has reviewed this? Oh my God. This is almost as bad as the review Angelo Matthews had in the World Cup last year. That review was absolutely terrible. It was a full toss. It was going so far down leg. I don't even know how I can't even remember who it was against, but I don't even know how it hit the guy's pad. It was going that far down leg. It was an absolute shocking review. Just like that there. And because of that shocking review, I'm going to take you through the covers, boys. You are going for 4. For wasting my time, you are getting hit away for a 4, just like that. Hamid, 25 off 12. Absolutely smashing it at the moment. And there is still 10 balls left to go. Going to keep that at 10, because that's going to be a wide. It's going to be rebowled. And my oh my. What is going on here for Yorkshire? The team to beat in county cricket is just getting taken to by this Lancashire team. Finally, we lose a wicket. Hamid gone, played a very good knock. Gone for 25 off 13 with 5 fours and a strike rate of just under 200. So we now have our number 3 coming in, which is Carl Brown. Haven't heard of this guy. I think we've got Josh Butler coming in next as well. So we're looking to try and get him in at some stage, because I haven't played with him in this game yet. There's so many, like this game now has been out for, I'm just trying to think, today's Tuesday. I've had the game since last Wednesday. So the game's almost been out a week, and there's so many players that I haven't battled or haven't bowled with. Like, it is just incredible. So, oh, Carl Brown. Who is this Carl Brown guy? And what is he doing? He's gone out first ball and said, Liam Plunkett, you know what? You are going downtown, down the ground for a 4. Off the mark with a 4. We move on to 49 for 1 of 4 overs. I think potentially that 75 is a bit out of reach unless we have an incredible last over. But we have got 50 off the first 4. And this has been a great start. We've got 1 over left. Stephen Patterson. I don't think this guy's played for the England side. He must be close though, because he plays for Yorkshire. I think it's kind of a similar situation. And that's what I was talking about. A similar situation here in New Zealand. A lot of our players, a lot of our international players play for Northern Districts. I mean, you know, just off the top of my head, there's Trent Bolt, Tim Southey, Mitchell Santner, BJ Watling. So there are quite a few. Like a good majority of them do play for Northern. There must be others as well that I'm clearly missing. Kane Williamson, the captain. I just casually forget the New Zealand skipper. But there are plenty of players. Saying that though, there is a fair good spread. Like there's a few Auckland players, obviously Guptill, Canterbury, Henry Nichols, Tom Latham, Otago, Neil Wagner, and I think that's about it. Neil Broom has been recalled to the. He's been recalled to the one-day side for the one-day internationals against Bangladesh. Ross Taylor, Central Districts, Adam Milne, Central Districts. Lockie Ferguson's another one from Auckland. So there is a good spread, but once upon a time, majority of the players did come from a certain team. And I think Australia are kind of in a similar situation to this as well, where the joke going around basically is that if you play for New South Wales, you will get selected for the Australian national team. And I don't know, like the legitimacy behind that or how it all works, but there do seem to be, like you look at it, there's a lot of New South Wales players that normally make up that Australian team. Obviously, looking at the test team at the moment, you've got Warner, Smith, Maddinson, Stark, Hazelwood. So yeah, there's a good majority, like probably maybe half, just under half. I'm trying to think. Peter Hanscom's a Victorian. Nathan Lyon, I think, is one of the only South Australians. Jackson Bird plays for Tasmania. Renshaw and Kawaja play for Queensland. I don't think there's any Western Australians in the side. Madison, Hanscom, Matty Wade's a Victorian. No, so there's no Western Australians. Queensland, Victoria, one Tassie. Oh crap, and we're bowling. Alright, enough about that. Let's go and get straight into this. So Neil Wagner, a guy we were just talking about, a guy we did just mention before. Oh! And he gets a wicket first ball. Would you believe it? Wags, you little beauty. Caught by that man, Joss Butler, normally behind the stumps with the gloves, but not the case today. He's fielding out in the outfield, and he takes a great catch first up. Gary Ballance now in, and we're going to go for the typical Wagner approach here, boys. Short and fast, because that is the only way that Wags knows how to bowl. The only way. I must say, when Neil Wagner first did come on the domestic scene here in New Zealand, there was a lot of hype about him. He was a guy who could consistently bowl 150 plus. He did, I don't know what it was, but he just seemed to lose a bit of speed throughout his career, which is a shame. But he does still do a very, very good job for the Black Caps. He's one of those guys that basically, looking back probably now for me, like 3 or 4 years ago, Neil Wagner was one of those guys that when we were playing on a green top, you would go to him just because he'd be that fourth seamer. He could do that. And, going back 3 or 4 years, he wasn't a guy that I rated all that highly. He wasn't bowling that quick. He was only bowling 120 Ks. He wasn't picking up wickets. He was going for heaps of runs. So he wasn't a guy that realistically I wanted in our test side. I was like, Wagner, we don't need you. We got Bracewell. We got Southey. We got Bolt. I'm just trying to think who else was like our other seamer at that stage. But, we had those guys, and, Wags was a little bit surplus to requirements, you would say. But now you come to now, and personally in my mind, Neil Wagner is probably one of our most important test bowlers. I mean, obviously Southey and Bolt are the guys that go out there early on. They get the swing and the seam. Wagner is a guy, he doesn't swing the ball, he doesn't seam the ball, but he will get you wickets. I think he is actually one of the fastest New Zealand players to get to 100 test wickets, which is quite surprising because he did start off his career very expensive and just a guy who would basically toil away all day and, just run in all day and keep bowling. And I mean, he still does do that today, but today he just adds that different approach to New Zealand, I think. Like, looking back at it now, obviously, well, looking at it now, sorry, I should say, depending on the lineup we go with, Tim Southey and Trent Boult are basically always going to play. If they're fit, they are always going to play. They're our premium opening bowlers in this country. Now, they rely on swing and seam. If there's no swing and seam, they're not terrible bowlers by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not as effective as normal. Whereas Neil Wagner is a guy who basically, if there's no swing and no seam, which I don't think he gets a lot of anyway, he will still find a way to pick you up wickets. He will bowl aggressive, he'll bowl short, he'll bowl at the body, he will bowl all day. And because of that, as I said, he will go and he will pick you up wickets. And as I said, I think he is one of the fastest New Zealand players actually to get to 100 Test wickets, which is quite surprising. Because going back and looking at Southee and Bolt, you would expect them to be incredibly quick. They had that great run under McCullum, where New Zealand, I wouldn't say were unbeatable, but New Zealand were a very, very good Test side. And Wagner wasn't really in the equation then. But now, Kane Williamson, for me, Neil Wagner is one of his go-to bowlers. If things aren't working out, he will go to Neil Wagner. And Wagner will be the guy that will pick you up wickets. Like, he just seems to have a knack of doing it. I don't know how, and I don't know why, but he just seems to do it. He just seems to get the job done. And whether it's just, as I said, he runs in all day, his stamina must be absolutely incredible because he can bowl probably 20, 25 overs in a day. Just himself. And, he's not a medium pacer. He's not a slow bowler. He is a guy who bowls, obviously not as quick as we thought he once was, bowling 130, 135s now probably. But he just gets the ball in the right area. He just does enough to go and pick up wickets. I remember, I think it was I was going to say against Pakistan, but I think it was actually against Sri Lanka. We were playing, I think it was the second test against them. And basically, things were done and dusted. We were looking like we were going to get absolutely clobbered. Wags came in and basically just bowled short balls, had the field set to the way he likes and the way his captain liked. I think he had quite a few players out on the leg side, on like the pull, the hook, etc. And he just picked up wickets. It is quite strange how many he actually picks up caught behind as well because, oh God, I've spun this the wrong way. I've actually recovered that quite well. But it is quite strange how many he does get, not necessarily off the bat, but he'll get quite a lot of wickets where the ball just ricochets the gloves because it's just that aggression that he does bowl with. And I think, having someone like Santner or even de Gronholm in the side really does suit Wags because it means that he can go out and be aggressive. And one of those guys, de Gronholm or Santner, can basically bowl down the other end and they can build up pressure. They can be the economical guys, the guys who don't go for many runs. And that means Wagner can bowl, it means that he can bowl a bit extra assertive, I guess, and be a little bit more aggressive and not have to worry about the runs on the board. So I think, having those guys and having Wagner around like the last probably, I don't know, just maybe the last like 12 months, 18 months, he has improved as a bowler so much. As I said, going back 3 or 4 years, he was a guy who basically myself and a lot of people didn't really want in the test side. Is that a bump? It's definitely a bump ball. I thought I was going to have my first caught bowled of the game. Definitely a bump ball though. Definitely a bump ball. Whew! Joe Root, that one's beaten the outside edge. The only thing I do worry about in this situation here is we're coming to the close of the game. Is that our next player, Stephen Croft, our next bowler, is only rated like 32 overall. So I am a bit worried that 25 potentially might not be enough. Whew. Okay, we've got Root. So that's good. He's gone, caught Peterson, bowled by Parry. So Parry, I think, picks up his first. And as we can see, Croft is our next best player with 32 bowling. No, not Hamid. Oh, God. Okay, so I hope this is going to be Croft. If it's Hamid, I'm in a bit of trouble. So Gale comes out. Oh, God, Hamid. All right, we've got to change this. So we want the active bowler. No. You know what? Let's just go with Hamid. He did well with the bat for me. He's going to do well with the ball. I can just feel it. Medium pace. Only like 20 overall. And that's all we need him to do. We just need him to go and put away these ones. Now, this is a concern that I do have with the Hurricanes in my Big Bash league that I'm doing at the moment as well. Is that bowling-wise, it's not so bad in 5-5 because I can kind of get away with it. But if I did any longer, like if I did a T10 or even a T20 game, and someone got absolutely pumped, I think I would struggle. Because just don't have the bowling resources. And it will be the same, I think, with Lancashire Well, it is definitely Lancashire. I'm probably going to get absolute hate in the comments just from people like, that's not how you say it. You pronounce it like this. My pronunciation is terrible of English counties. That's why half the time I don't even try. But if I did do a tournament with this team, I would have to go and I would have to play another bowler. Just because, I mean, being your fifth bowler, being 32 rated, is just not good enough. It just is nowhere near good enough. Hamid, I mean, in his defence, he has done the job. He has got the job done somehow. He's gone for 6 off 5. He was defending 22. We need 19. 19 off the last ball. I'm going to chuck this one into the slow ball. Here you go, Johnny Bairstow. Happy birthday to you, son. You can flick that one off the pads. Might not even have the timing to get all the way for 4, but I'd say that the fielder would knock it over if not the case. But Lancashire win. As I said, I don't even know if this is a derby. I need to start following county cricket a bit more. But they beat Yorkshire by, I think it was about 15 runs at the end of the day. Hamid getting the job done. We conceded fewer than 76 runs. We bowled fewer than 1 wide. And we bowled fewer than 6 no balls. So we've done all the objectives in this one here. Lancashire win by 14 runs. If there are 2 sets of teams or a set of teams that you would like to see me do a 5-5 game in, make sure you let me know down below in the comments. I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. Do hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is Cliffy, your King of Career Mode, signing out.